Some Republicans in Congress held a closed-door meeting last week to discuss bringing back a practice banned since the politically toxic bridge to nowhere made headlines. Discussions about earmarks are in their early stages, but they're already generating a lot of buzz. Joining me now with the latest is David Williams, president of the Taxpayers Protection Alliance. Dave, how did we get to this point? Let's back into it first. How did we get to where we could cut earmarks and say we're going to do away with that?
Well, it really was the bridge to nowhere. Yeah. Back in 2005 and 2006.
Alaska,
exactly.
Rest his soul, but he's got a nice plot of land up there, I'm sure, with everything else that he did for
what
his
happened
people.
was this was a big project that people really understood to be wasteful. And we had a lag time between the authorization and the appropriations bill. So we had a victory. Taxpayers had a victory. They got a taste of victory to defeat an earmark. So they said, hey, wait a second. If we can do it for this project, let's carry this over to the elections in 2006 and then 2010. So we've seen some transparency in 2007 and the moratorium. In 2010, Congress, I mean, they were forced into the moratorium.
Sure.
They didn't do this out of the kindness of their own hearts.
Right.
They said, no earmarks. Well, a few billion have trickled in here and there, but let's give them some credit. They have gotten rid of a lot of earmarks. But now they're getting antsy. Well,
Congressman Mike Rogers now is saying, you know, maybe earmarks aren't such a bad deal. Explain that.
Well, I think what's happening is a transportation bill. You saw a 3-month extension of the transportation bill, and they're saying we cannot get a 5-year or 6-year transportation bill done without earmarks. And I think this is where he's going, because we saw Michelle Bachmann a couple of years ago say that a bridge in her district wasn't an earmark because it was in her district. So I think that this is what's really prompting Mike Rogers to say this, is that we need some of these projects to get legislation done. And well, you really don't. You just choose to not get legislation done.
Now, are Tea Partiers on board with this? Because at some point we admire them because they hold firm in their beliefs, whether we like it or not. Then we lose our rating. They say, no, we're not going to spend any money. Where do they stand with earmarks?
I have always said there are 2 pieces of legislation that will show if Tea Partiers are serious about spending cuts. The Farm Bill and the Transportation Bill.
Farm subsidies?
Right, and the Transportation Bill because of earmarks. And as I mentioned, Michelle Bachmann requested an earmark a couple of years ago. So this is the true litmus test for the Tea Party folks in Congress, is they need to stand firm. John Boehner has never requested an earmark. He's been really good on this, but the Tea Partiers need to stand firm and say, do not bring them back, and they really need to contact Mike Rogers and say, whoa, wait a second. We are going to lose our majority in Congress, and we're going to really hurt our brand if we bring back earmarks.
I agree. President Obama and his likely general election opponent Mitt Romney ramped things up yesterday, taking each other to task over taxes. Listen.
When the president attacks business and when his policies make it more difficult for business to grow and prosper, he's also attacking the very communities he had wanted to help.
There is no way to get even close to $4.6 trillion in savings without dramatically reducing all kinds of tax breaks that go to middle-class families. Tax breaks for health care, tax breaks for retirement, tax breaks for home ownership.
Each accused the other of being out of step with working Americans. Who's right and who's wrong, Dave?
Well, President Obama, he has extended the Bush tax cuts, but he did it reluctantly. He really didn't want to do this, and I think it was the House of Representatives, because let's just, the Senate's a mess. They haven't passed a budget. They really haven't passed any legislation, so we're not going to talk about the Senate. The House forced him to extend those tax cuts. He doesn't want to do it. By his own words, he has wanted to raise taxes for the past 2 or 3 years to close the deficit and the debt. So he's doing this reluctantly. Mitt Romney, on the other hand, he is a businessman. He comes from the corporate world. He knows just how good tax cuts are and how much more money are brought into businesses so they can expand. So you have a fundamental philosophical difference as to what tax cuts are. You have President Obama, oil subsidies and oil taxes. He wants to raise those. But for the green companies, he wants more tax breaks for the green companies. So he says level the playing field, except for the industries that he likes. And he said this back in February when he released his corporate tax cut, which really wasn't a tax cut. It was a tax increase in a lot of ways.
This is almost like his talk with Russian President Medvedev. Hey, wait until after the election, things will get better for you. That's what he can't do anything between now and then as far as taxes, cuts, or anything else.
This could be a no-win situation, because if he loses, then we have a lame duck president for 3 months that might do whatever the heck he wants to to do. And if he wins, well, he's not running again, so this could be really scary.
That's right. What's your website?
ProtectingTaxpayers.org.
As you're doing so well, Dave Williams with Taxpayers.